Hello. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Let me know if you can hear me okay or not. I got the mic in a different position. Thank you. So I'm gonna hang out with you guys for a little bit, like 5-10 minutes, to chat with y'all for a little bit. Just so later comers don't show up in the middle of the roleplay. Because when I'm doing a live roleplay, it gets a little frustrating if a bunch of people come in when I'm like already like 10-15 minutes into the roleplay and they're like, did I miss anything? What's going on? It's like, oh, jeez. So I like to give people like a buffer window to join. And then it's like, well, if you're late, you're late. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the anniversary. The anniversary is actually on Sunday. And I was going to stream Sunday or Monday, but life got in the way. I've been real busy with moving house. Because we got the keys last week. And we've been slowly setting things up and ordering appliances, getting them installed, and moving things over. But we're not moving our furniture over until November. But we're moving all the little things over first, in boxes. No, I'm doing alright today. It's just, I wasn't on Twitch last night because mid-afternoon I got this headache that just wouldn't go away no matter how much Tylenol I took. And you don't want to take too much Tylenol, whether you're pregnant or not. So I took some Tylenol, didn't go away. Figured it was like an exhaustion headache. So I laid down for a nap, set an alarm. It's like 2 or 3 alarms actually. Slept right through them. I woke up, it was well past dark, and my phone was buzzing with the alarm still going. And I knew it was late because I woke up and someone put little Fox to bed. I must have been really tired. Moving 3 weeks? Congrats. How do I look different? This is the same model I've been using for the past like 6 months at least. Coffee. Iced coffee. I have been doing a pretty good job waking up early on my own lately, though, without setting alarms. Because Husbando has been staying out late after work, going to the gym to prepare for his drill this weekend. So he's been coming home at like 3-something in the morning. So either I'm awake before he comes home and I've started setting up to work on projects in my computer room, or I get up like just after he gets home, like within the hour after he gets home. And I've been trying not to set alarms in case I wake up after he gets home, and I don't want to wake him up when he just recently went to sleep. Little Fox is doing well. She's doing well. She just had dinner. She had some pasta. Now she's playing with the other kiddo. And is probably gonna be put to bed by Grandma in like an hour or so. Now, after I move and Husbando knows his new work schedule, I will probably have to change when I stream. I may have to start streaming earlier in the evening. because depending on when he has to leave for work, if he gets put permanently on the overnight shift or not, I'll be the one going back to putting the kids to bed. And it usually starts between like 8 and 8:30 my time. So I probably have to push my streams in the evening back to like an hour or two. Basically starting right after dinner. No big deal. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the wishes. I know, new house is not haunted. It actually was renovated between the previous tenant and us getting it. So, like, there's a bunch of like new stuff in the kitchen, new flooring, fresh paint in the walls. It's pretty nice. So I talked to the representative for the landlord, and apparently the previous tenant not only missed like several months in a row on rent, and that's why they got like evicted, but they just trashed the house. Like, they apparently damaged the walls, ripped up the floors, just destroyed things. So the landlord has sunk a lot of money into renovating the house. Yeah, so you're wondering where Scarlet is. I like to give about a 15 or so minute window, so people who pop in late don't show up in the middle of like being in character. Sometimes they go a little bit longer depending on what's going on. I've been doing okay. Just been tired lately. And baby is doing great. So far, so good. I have to check when my next appointment is, but baby's looking good. Well, based on pictures the representative showed me what the house looked like before they renovated it. One of the rooms was done up and it looked just like the average Twitch streaming gamer bro, with like the computer set up and the stuff on the walls, and I'm just like, was one of the previous tenants like a Twitch streamer? And not a good one. Not that I'm any better. Like, I'm not trying to like boost myself up or anything. I'm just saying it's like, that's such a douchey looking setup. Catch you later, Mickey. Yes, I am going to be bringing back some old characters, like not one right after the other, because that'll just get a little tedious for me, having to go through all my old notes to keep up with the plots and whatnot. But periodically I'm going to bring back characters from like 2, 3, 4 years ago. Yes, Scarlet was the very first character on my channel. The very first one. Oh, and so the subject of channels getting hacked, I was literally scrolling YouTube, and one of the channels I follow just like swapped as I was scrolling. Like, it went from having one name to another. And I'm like, what the crap? I click on it, and all their videos are gone. It's just a stream, and it's just a crypto bro trying to scam people with crypto. And I'm like, man, crypto people are getting desperate if they're hacking channels. Hello, people joining. Don't mind me. I need to. I want to. Before I start role playing, I want to finish my coffee at least. So you don't have Scarlet every like 5-10 minutes drinking something. I want to kill my coffee. And yes, I'm one of those weirdos who drinks coffee in the evening. Because it doesn't keep me up all night like some people. For me, it keeps me up like maybe an hour or two. And then the caffeine wears off and I just conquer it out. I'm trying to work on as many projects as I can now. And I'll see how much I can get done after I'm done moving in the new house. Because I know once I'm having the baby and the baby's born, I probably won't be able to like even make an audio for at least a month. Because from my past experience with my previous kids, newborns will nap for 2 hours at a time. Sometimes 4. They'll sleep 2 to 4 hours and they're awake. But you can't predict when they're going to sleep. And you have to sleep sometime. So you sleep when the baby's asleep. Feed the baby, change the baby, bathe the baby, play with them when they're awake. And then you go back to sleep when they sleep. Until they start sleeping consistently, which takes a month or 2. Everything's going well, going well. Alright, this seems like it's been a good enough window. So heads up, when I'm role-playing, any questions you want to ask me as Kitti will get ignored. So anyone coming in will be like, hey, how are you doing? Will be answered in character. And anything that's directly to me myself will be ignored. I'll pretend I don't see it, basically. So if someone says, how's the baby? It's going to be ignored. When's the next audio coming out? Ignored. So, just so people don't think I'm being rude, y'all can tell new people coming in, hey, it's a role play. She's not herself, it's a character. Just, like, roll with it. And also, this is not following the little story I have with Scarlet going, which isn't much of a story. She's only been in, like, 5 videos, but this basically is, like, recreating the first audio. So, here. I'm going to switch over now. Give me just, like, a couple minutes. Oh my. There's more people here than I thought there would be. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Thought I was showing up to one person. Is this a party? Did I come to a party? Oh, what to do? What to do? What will I do? Oh my. So many of you. And you all seem to know me. I wonder why that is. Have I visited you all before? Truth be told, I have visited many a human and other creatures during their slumber hours, but for so many at once who recognize me, it's been startling. Well, I know I look good. I am a succubus after all. Oh yes, it's gonna be really difficult to feed on you all. Technically, I can't feed if I'm being witnessed by someone other than my designated target. I'm looking for my target. I don't see her. It was supposed to be a female at this particular juncture in time, and I don't see her. Something must be up with the teleportation from the succubus realm. Clearly I got sent to an alternate location. Oh my, I haven't fed in how long has it been now? At least in mortal time. Probably about a week for you lot. A week's time. How am I? No one's ever really asked me that before. Usually there's a lot of shock, intrigue, other such things about my presence, but few ever inquire about me myself in my current status. I've been doing rather well lately, to be honest. Just going about my life, as it were. Feeding on energy, collecting souls for hell. The usual. The weirdest thing I've ever seen of one of my, I wouldn't call them a victim. How about partner? What my partners do is apparently my target was their twin. It was a set of twins, and I apparently operated to the wrong one. And they insisted that the one I was after was a different person. Kind of suspicious if you ask me. But they had pictures to prove it, so who am I to judge? Oh, I've had partners who've at first tried to take my life. Never had the right weapons, of course. Nope. They thought they did, but it actually takes a fair amount to end a succubus. Especially one who's been around as long as I have. I'm fairly powerful. Oh, just the mere touch of a succubus is better than anything you've ever experienced in your entire life. Wait, how do you know Poppy? I guess you would call her a sister of mine. But, yes, I do know her. We've, done feedings together a few times. When a particular partner had a rather difficult time releasing their energy and soul. Sometimes it takes two succubi to take it. Oh, I'm never bored and never lonely. Because I'm either traveling to mortal realms, visiting with designated partners, or among the other succubi and demons. So I'm never truly alone. And while I have been alive for quite some time now, it never really gets old. As mortal realms grow and change and adapt to new things, I get to experience it along with the various creatures that dwell in them. I've had many a dense partner before. One thought that I was a lady of the night they forgot to pay for. Even if I was given mortal currency, I couldn't do anything with it. Currency doesn't really do much for anyone in hell. Because our currency isn't physical, we deal in souls. The more souls a succubus collects, the richer they are. And I have hundreds, if not thousands, under my belt at this point, as it were. Could have gotten a 20-piece McNugget. What would I be doing with human food? Human food doesn't really do much for us succubi. Technically we could eat it, but it really doesn't do much. It's not the sustenance our forms need to thrive. I've had to feed on some cryptid-like creatures before. Ones that are rather resilient to a succubi's wiles. Usually, though, the stronger ones they'll send an incubus after. Human food really depends. Really fresh and well-cooked human food it'd be a little bit pleasurable. But if you were to just throw me a cookie or something, I wouldn't be able to do much with it. I seem friendly. Well, why wouldn't I be? It's very rare that I get to interact with a large amount of mortals all at once. Usually my presence is on a more individual basis. What's it like in hell? Well, it depends on what level you're on. But it tends to be rather hot. And it can be pretty loud, depending on where you are. What with all the damned being tortured and whatnot. Well, it just depends what realm, what circle you're in hell. I tend to hang out where it's a little more laid back and quiet. Mostly when I'm in hell, I tend to read. Or I spend time with the demon queen who created me, helping her out with things. I don't spend a lot of time in hell. I prefer to jump around between realms and visit various partners. It's part of why I'm such a... what's a good way to phrase this? Effective succubus. I get a lot done. You know, no one's ever asked me for a hug before. Just to warn you, I'm not sure what's going to do to you. Again, no one's ever really sought out that kind of affection from me. We'll see. Here. There. There. It's all gonna be okay. It's all good. The Demon Queen is exactly as she is phrased. She has many names, but we just call her Queen, or Her Majesty. She's, very interesting. Oh no, not all of my partners have been fully human. I've been with vampires, werewolves, various other creatures. I've been with what you might call aliens, too. Other dimensional beings. Oh my, more are showing up. It's quite a predicament I'm in. I personally haven't seen anything related to a dragon, but I've heard legends. Older succubi, some who aren't around anymore, unfortunately, have told stories about various ancient creatures they've been with. What does a demon queen look like? Oh, it's hard to describe. Much like how, say, a human woman may change her clothes, hair, and makeup regularly to alter her appearance, the queen takes things a bit more extreme. It seems every time I see her, she's taken a different form. Sometimes she looks fairly human, albeit a very beautiful one. And depending on her mood, other times she looks a bit more monstrous, demonic as it were. I guess you can rest your head on my lap. I don't see a problem with that, but again, touching any part of me may affect you one way or another. And given I'm very, very rarely asked to perform acts that are not very sensual, I don't know how this is going to affect you. Usually, once I get with a partner, they desire to be kissed, caressed, and at times something a bit more intimate than that. Well, if you must depart, very well, but just so you know, within time after leaving my presence, you're going to forget you even met me, most likely. Just expect that. You may touch my wings, just be a bit careful, as they do run a bit hot. You may very well see me again at some point, though likely on a more individual basis. How do I feel about humans and demons being in peace? Well, that is a highly unlikely thing, given the demon realm and hell deals in mortal souls. And that's very rarely a truly peaceful arrangement. I'm trying to be very careful not to touch you a lot, because it would look very poorly upon my character if I actually did any harm to anyone, especially anyone who's not my designated partner for that time period. Let me see something. I'm curious. Place your hand against mine. Here. Just gently touch my hand. Let me know what you feel upon being touched. Are you all truly unaffected by me? Well, this is a first, I must say. Interesting. Very, very mild effects. Well, it's certainly a first time for everything, I suppose. Perhaps the more witnesses there are to my presence, the weaker my touch and other abilities become. If you're not affected by my touch, it means I probably can't absorb your energy, let alone take your souls. Quite peculiar. I may have to ask the Queen about this when I return. The Queen's single. Well, she's had an on-again, off-again thing with another demon. But she really doesn't seek one partner just to spend her life with. She rather enjoys her independence. I'm curious how long I can stay in this form in front of you lot. If I can't absorb your energy, I'll probably weaken fairly quickly and have to go back to hell and recharge that way. I'm very curious. This has honestly never happened to me before. If the Queen were to find a partner, might spell doom for hell. Because I imagine it would be for a selfish reason. Likely to overthrow the authority. Because she isn't the be-all end-all authority of hell. We call him the big guy. He tends to reign supreme over everybody else. So she had a truly loyal companion, and one powerful enough, they may be able to overthrow him. What are hellhounds like? Well, succubi don't really encounter them often. They tend to follow demons. But they tend to be rather loyal to their designated master or mistress. They can wander about on their own, usually specifically certain mortal realms, but usually they like to follow demons and obey them. The big guy has many names depending on where you're from. Certain humans do call him Lucifer, believe him to be a fallen angel. Others refer to him as Hasatan, or Satan. I see one of you knows of a partner of mine named Andrew Tate. Been with him a few times. He never was the same after I saw him. The Queen believes my touch made him go mad. If I were to change anything, I would like the opportunity to be mortal. At least for a day. Just to know what it's like. To be able to eat proper food. Experience the warmth of the sun. Things like that. Honestly, I don't think anything bad is going to happen to me when I have to return to hell. If anything, the Queen might be just as perplexed as I am. I am afraid I'm feeling myself grow weaker by the minute. Starting to fade a little bit. I don't know how long I can remain before I have to find a source of food. There is a reserve of souls at my home in hell that I call upon in case of an emergency. So you have nothing to worry about. Oh, I've lost count of the souls I've collected after several hundred. Probably been over 1,000 by now, if not more. In a human mortal's capacity of time, I usually collect about 1 to 3 a night, depending on how long each session with a partner takes. And I only take 1 to 2 nights off every 4 to 6 nights, depending on how much I collect. Sometimes when I visit a mortal, it's just an energy drain, not a soul collection. Just a little pick-me-up so I can move on to my next partner. Who are my friends? Well, I consider every partner I've ever had to be a friend, especially those who have warranted repeat visits. Because I found some mortals have regenerative souls. So even when I do a bit of a collection, it's never the soul in its entirety. And I always have to go back to them to collect more. I don't have very many acquaintances in hell, though. There's many succubi and incubi. It'd be impossible to know everybody. This glowing object you presented me, I can't really do much with. The Lust Realm is, kind of the birthplace of most succubi and incubi, actually. Though we're not the ones doing the tormenting down there. It is said that a succubus or an incubus is manifested every time a mortal soul is brought to that particular part of hell. Which is why there's quite a fair many of us. Well, I personally don't like to kill. I probably could, if I so desired, but I have yet to end a mortal life. As collecting a soul doesn't actually end a life, it just kind of makes the mortal a bit of a shell of a being. Well, thank you. Like my wings? Very nice. Thank you. I know a Lilith, but she's nothing like that. Do succubi have nails? Well, I can if I want to have them. Depends on what I feel like doing. Though, given my target this evening was supposed to be female, I opted to not manifest with them. If you, catch my drift. I have never met a dream girlfriend before. I've only heard stories. They don't come from hell, they come from heaven. They are basically gifts from angels for those who are truly deserving. What do I do for fun? Interesting question. I'm rather fond of reading. I collect all forms of literature, from creatures in every realm. I've collected things from ancient human times, all the way up to things from a future you can't even comprehend. Oh, I've never actually been around a full angel before. I've encountered a Nephilim or two. They're not supposed to exist, but let's just say there are angels who aren't exactly as pure as you might think they should be. But a fallen angel, no. Because it'd be very, very easy for an angel to smite me. And I'm not one to risk that. I have some innate abilities. I can heal in case of injury. Not as well as an angel can, but I can heal minor injuries. Usually ones that can happen if you are weaker and our encounter gets a bit hot and heavy, as it were. If I wanted to, I could read someone's mind. It's usually how I'm able to gauge their intentions and desires. I don't go into a full history of who they are. I kind of get what you would consider the Cliff Notes version. Just enough so I know how to intrigue them. And of course, I have the ability to erase memories. It's my usual parting gift when I leave a partner. Well, for me, hell is a rather normal place. It's very hot. Depending where you are, it can get rather noisy and loud. It's crowded most of the time. Apparently it didn't used to be so crowded, but certain mortals in certain realms have just lost their way, it seems. So when they pass on beyond purgatory, they don't make it to heaven. What I plan on doing later? Well, at this point in time, I'm feeling rather weak. I may have to depart to hell for a little bit to regain some energy. But if I'm able to calculate correctly, I should be able to return to at least most of you. That is, if the powers that be in hell so allow it. Oh, don't worry, I know your names and faces at this point. So we haven't met before. I can add you to my roster of who to manifest to late at night when you think you're sleeping. I am afraid I'm feeling a bit weak. I can sense I'm starting to fade. Give me a few minutes of your mortal time, which is about a day or two in hell, and I'll see if I am permitted to return. If not to you all as a collective, it will be on a one-on-one basis in the near future. After all, it will take me some time, as it were, to get to each of you individually. Farewell, mortals. I will be back, whether to you all at once or on a one-on-one basis. Regardless, I have enjoyed my time with you. I really have. And I do hope you remember me. I'm not going to make an effort to erase your memories. Consider that my gift to you. Sweet dreams, mortals. Mwah. Hey y'all, sorry, it's about the time the kids are put to bed. So in case there's any ruckus, I don't want that interrupting the roleplay space. Give it like 15-30 minutes. If there isn't a lot of noise, I'll bring Scarlet back for a little bit. I just want to allow time for the kids to settle in bed before I get back in the zone. Because they tend to be a little ruckus when they're being put to bed. At least the older one is. Plus, I would like to finish my beverage. I still have a third of a cup of coffee here. Not sure how long I can stay on tonight. I would like to stay on until about 9. But I may have to dip out before then. Because regardless of the fact I'm drinking coffee, I've had a very long day. I initially woke up at around 1:32 in the morning. Did a little bit of stuff, went back to sleep. Got up again at like 4:30. And I've been up and about pretty much since 4:30 this morning. And it's now 8. Anime on the screen? I'm honestly not super sure. The graphic designer just kind of had fun putting things in this design. Also, I am due for my nightly medicine. I hope you enjoy New York. Say a prayer for her husband, though, by the way. He has a weigh-in, measurements, and combat test this weekend with the military. He's mostly worried about the weigh-in. He's been dieting like crazy for the past month. And nearly every night he's been going to the gym for like 3 to 4 hours. It's crazy. Yes, periodically they have them do a combat fitness test. They do a physical fitness test, and then another time they do a combat fitness test pretty regularly. Yeah, the weigh-in sucks. That's what he's most worried about, is the weigh-in. Like, he's just at max weight as of, like, the other day. He's trying to dip a couple pounds below it. I honestly don't know how far below max weight he can get, because I personally, like, he's not super, like, overweight in a fat sense. He's a very broad guy. Like, he's broad in the shoulders. He's got a lot of muscle in his arms. I honestly think he has more muscle than he realizes. going to try and get him on a stream in the future. Just lately his schedule has been so crazy. By the time he gets home, he just wants to take a shower and go to bed. But once he's back to normal, I do think his schedule's changing though, so I'm not sure what we're going to do. I think they're going to be giving him nights next month. Meaning he's going to be like heading out the door at like 8, 9 p.m. and not coming back until like 7, 8 in the morning. We're going to have a weekend trip next month. It's part of the military, though. It's their annual birthday party, basically. So we get to go to a little formal event and spend the night at a hotel without kids. So that's going to be nice. But for a formal vacation, we don't have the time. He can't take off from his day job. And all our spare money is being put into this new house. Baby's doing good. Baby's doing pretty good. I have to check the calendar in my kitchen to see what my next appointment is, but I think it's pretty soon, actually. Double check. Man, I've downed this big ass cup of iced latte that even has extra espresso in it. I'm still dragging. I'm not like passing out, but I can feel that like if I were to lay down right now, I could probably fall asleep in like half an hour or less. And considering I did a lot to get a Scarlet model made, I'll definitely stream as her again in the future. I also am planning a standalone Scarlet audio. I've already got the art for the thumbnail and everything. I just gotta record it and edit it. It's already got the story written and thumbnail art. I just gotta sit down and do it. I'm gonna try to get that one done before Halloween, if I can. I don't know why people think espresso treats depression. If anything, being a stimulant, it would treat ADHD. And it's kind of funny, today there was a temperature drop where I live. And everybody in the house was complaining. They're like, it's cold, I gotta wear a hoodie, I gotta wear a sweater, it's cold. And I'm just like, man, I'm comfy now, finally. So I've been hot and sweaty all summer. And all of fall so far, I've been just warm. It's been too hot for me. Even in my house that I live in right now. And the temperature finally drops to like the 50s Fahrenheit. And I'm like, huh, I'm comfy finally. This pregnancy has made me feel like a damn furnace. If it wasn't for the fact I have to share a bedroom with my 2-year-old, I would sleep nearly naked because it's just so warm for me. But no, you can't do that when you share a room with a child. That's just weird and gross. Well, maybe not gross given that my child is also female, but it's weird. It's weird. Don't do that. Gotta love this new place we got. There's enough rooms for everybody. Each kid gets their own room. We are gonna room in the baby for the first year or two, because that's what doctors recommend you do anyway. But there's enough space that the kids can have their own rooms. So, 8-year-old gets her room. Little Fox, the 2-year-old, gets her room. I have some office space to do my work when I'm able to. And it also doubles as a little man cave for husband over him to game in, so he's not waking people up late at night gaming in the living room. Then we have the master bedroom, so where me and husband go to sleep in. Given the kind of furniture I have in my office space, a lot of it's very squishy. And I think that's been doing a pretty good job at absorbing echoes. I'll have to do a test when I move into the new place to see how bad the new office space echoes. It may not, because that room is actually a lot smaller than the room I currently use. So once I put all the furniture in and all the squishy pillows it has and whatnot, it may just absorb everything again. I'll have to see. Alright, I'm gonna give it another 15 minutes. If I'm still feeling awake, I'll bring Scarlet back. But if I'm starting to fade, I'm gonna have to call it a night. See how I feel in 15 minutes, because that should be enough time for every last drop of coffee and espresso to kick in. If it doesn't, I start fading, then I start fading. Oh, husband does a lot of things that I would personally consider to be kind of dumb. Like his taste in online content creators, some of them could be better. I'll put it that way. He tends to gravitate towards grifters, and it's just like, Stop that. They're profiting off your paranoia, honey. Like, setting up the new place, he's like, we're going to need to get security cameras and motion sensors and window shatter detectors. And I'm like, dude, we're going to be in like one of the quietest suburbs in the area. And it's near farmland. I don't think we have to worry about anyone coming after us. Not in that sense where they're going to break in. Because I've been robbed before. Like, I had an apartment where, like, all of my... I've told the story before. I had an apartment, and, like, nearly everything I had of value was stolen from it. And based on the fact that there was no signs of forced entry, it was a planned thing by people who worked for the apartment complex. Because other than me, only the people in the main office who dealt keys out to the handyman would be able to get in. So it was a coordinated effort with people who worked there. So in that case, like, really, what can you do? What can you do? So really, I'm making no assumptions because I've met the representatives for the landlord. They seem very nice and not like they're gonna rob us. So. Admittedly, the apartment I lived in, that complex was kind of sketchy. It was I moved there because it was the only place I could afford at the time. But I had not the best vibes going into it, but I needed to live somewhere because I needed a place to live. And that was the only place in the vicinity of where I worked that I could afford. I was never able to get my stuff back. The cops were useless. Utterly useless. People wonder why I have, like, no love for cops. Anytime I ever needed a cop, they've been useless. They just came, took a statement, gave me a copy of the statement so I could show the renter's insurance company. And so I wasn't able to get the stuff back because no one could help me find it. I just got an insurance payout and went and replaced some of it. Like, realistically, if the same thing happened again, which I highly doubt, but, like, knock on wood, I hope it doesn't happen again, and all of my electronics get stolen, yes, I'd be sad that all my files are gone and my work is gone and all that. But we have home insurance, meaning once we get a police report, take it to the insurance, get a payout, replace some of the stuff. Yeah, I can't replace all the files because not everything is able to be backed up on a cloud somewhere, just given just the type of files I have. But the physical pieces of equipment, if stolen, could be replaced. Yeah, my place was robbed in 2012. Heads up, y'all may want to come join me on Twitch tomorrow evening if you're familiar with Rocky Horror Picture Show. Because first half of stream, I'm going to be screening Rocky Horror. And I highly encourage participation. Like, look up the callbacks. I posted a link on Orky's Twitter to callbacks. It's a movie you're supposed to make fun of. So, that's what we're going to do. And then after the movie, we're going to play some more Scarlet the Succubus. Because I'm very invested in that series now. I really enjoy Rocky Horror. I haven't been to a live show of it in a few years, but it's always been fun when I've gone. I used to go a lot when I was in college. There was a local group to me that at least 1 or 2 weekends a month would do a live show with the audience participation, of course, and always a blast. I used to go like pretty often because I had friends who were part of the cast, and I could get in for free, which is nice because I knew people. I've heard of the game Hades. I have not played it, though. I need a manicure. I really do. I don't have the money for one. I know, riveting information. I just noticed my nail polish is chipping. And I got invited to a Halloween party on Saturday that I want to go to and look nice for. My old boss at the TV studio got in touch the other day. He's like, hey, I'm having a Halloween party on Saturday. I'd like you to come. It'd be good to see you again. I'm like, alright, dude, I'll try to make it. Even though, like, you downsize the studio and let me and a bunch of people go. It is what it is, though. Husband would like to come. He does have his drill this weekend, so he's not sure what time he'll be able to leave the base and get home to, like, get ready for a party. But he's hoping he can make it. For me, it just depends how I feel that day. Like, I can't make any concrete plans anymore, because the day of anything, I could, like, feel really sick or just be extremely tired. I've got 2 costumes I could do. I put together Mavis from Hotel Transylvania, because she was briefly pregnant in a movie, so it'd be in character. I also have a casual version of Yor from Spy X Family. Alright. Doesn't feel like I'm getting a second wind. I'm still feeling pretty drained. Which sucks. I was hoping to have more energy tonight. That's why I drank so much coffee today. But pregnancy gonna do what pregnancy gonna do. And if it wants to drain you energy, it's gonna drain you energy. Oh, that sucks you don't have Halloween. There's people in America who don't believe in Halloween, and they're very lame. Like, Halloween is not even part of Jewish culture, but even, like, my dad will at least have something for trick-or-treaters. Of course, where my father lives, he's not really in an area where there's a lot of kids. Just the nature of where his home is. But for the few kids there are, he always has candy on hand on Halloween, just in case. And he let my younger sisters go trick-or-treating. I was never with him on actual Halloween, so I never got to go trick-or-treating in his house. Okay, yeah. Many apologies, y'all. I'm starting to feel tired. I think, given both kids should be in bed by now, may not be asleep, but in bed. I'm going to try laying down for a bit. If I can't fall asleep in like an hour and a half, and I'm still awake by like 9:30, 10 o'clock my time, I may continue this stream and just hop back on. But if I fall asleep, I'll fall asleep. So just keep an eye on Discord and Twitter to see if I come back on or not. If you don't see anything in the next like hour or two, assume I'm passed out. But thanks everybody for joining me, and thanks those of you who stuck around after Scarlet left. I appreciate y'all. If you don't see me later tonight, please join me on Twitch tomorrow for Rocky Horror and Scarlet the Succubus. It's going to be a different kind of fun. Oh. Have a good night / day, depending on your time zone. Love you all. Stay awesome. Mwah. Ada ada. Ada ada. And I should have at least one new audio up either tomorrow or Friday. I've been working on stuff. So look forward to that too. Yay. Night night. Mwah. Da 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 da.